Hello, ISPA family, and welcome to another installment of our Pulse Partners interview series, where we catch up with the companies ISPA has partnered with in 2021 as we bring Pulse back to print and continue to provide that industry-leading publication to our members. I'm ISPA Board Chairman Patrick Huey, and today I am thrilled to be joined by Frank Pitsikalis, founder and CEO of ResortSuite. Yes, ResortSuite. As he shares some insight into how his company has responded to the pandemic, as well as the services and initiatives he is most excited about in 2021. Frank is a dedicated spa industry professional who currently serves as chairman of the ISPA Foundation board, and ResortSuite has been a long supporter of both the foundation and the ISPA Conference and Expo, where they are a platinum sponsor of our event this May in Phoenix. So Frank, welcome to our conversation. I knew you were coming. Backpack that you gave out. I think this was a couple of ISPAs ago, correct? This was the.
That's right.
I love this backpack.
I've got so many pictures from that bag, Patrick, of just people sending it to me saying, you know, I still use it. I go to the beach. I do this. I love it. That's awesome. I love that.
You know, I take it to the grocery store because I walk to the grocery store and I put in like all my little, anyway, we're so, but I love the backpack. So thank you for the backpack, Frank.
Thank you.
So for the people who may not know or be familiar with your company, can you share with our viewers an overview of ResortSuite as a company?
Sure. You know, ResortSuite is exactly kind of what the name implies, right? It's sort of a suite of modules that help manage a full resort. So it could be deployed to manage a spa and golf and a club operation, you know, within a resort and integrating to an existing PMS, or it can be deployed property-wide, you know, with a single guest profile shared and where ResortSuite manages the entire guest experience. So you know, and that can include room reservations, spa treatments, fitness classes, you know, golf tee times, dining reservations, you know, any type of activity that you can imagine booking at a resort or a wellness destination.
We use you at our Montage Palmetto Bluff property. It is the complete operation system for golf, everything, spa, retail, the entire piece. It's a great seamless piece to make that guest experience be really consistent across the board. We appreciate that, Frank. So tell us, I'm always curious about how companies begin. I know you're a very successful business today, but you had to start somewhere. So tell us about how ResortSuite came to fruition back in, I think it was 1999.
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. So, you know, with ResortSuite, I go way back. So back in the late 90s, my family owned a resort, and at the time, and it's a ski resort, it's a golf resort, and they were building a spa, and they had just returned from attending ISPA in 1999. I didn't go, but as they were planning to add a spa to the operation, you know, I'd grown up in hospitality, so I'd grown up being exposed really to every job you can do, but my background was in computer science. So at the time, I was actually working in Silicon Valley, and my family was, you know, asking me to come back and advise them on procuring a new system for the resort. And so you know, and obviously this resort had golf and ski, as I said, resort activities, you know, food and beverage, restaurants, meetings and banquets. I mean, it just had everything you can imagine at a property. And so I did thorough research in the industry and was shocked to realize, because I had been dealing in other segments in technology, and I was shocked to realize that in hospitality, there were just all these vertical software programs that each did one thing, but there really wasn't a product that was kind of a suite for an entire resort. And so I realized there's a big business opportunity here, and especially incorporating the spa and wellness experience. I just felt that, you know, having a product that can do everything and deliver, not just for a hotel with a spa, but a spa with a hotel, right? Where the intention to go to a property is really to have that sort of spa and wellness experience. So I put a team together and I proposed that, you know, we can build this product. This is what it would cost, which would be equivalent to buying all these other technologies. And so that was the deal. We sort of, that provided us the seed capital to build ResortSuite. They would have a product that doesn't exist, and we would have a product that we can take to market. And so that's kind of how it all started. We seeded the funding for ResortSuite and started with a very friendly customer to begin with.
Yes, what is it? Charity begins at home.
Yes.
Absolutely. So you were really sort of first in the market with this concept. If I remember correctly, back from the early days of spa,
Absolutely.
a lot of spa software is doing this.
Exactly. Yeah, there were, products in the industry that did spa or, various aspects of hospitality, but there was nothing that could combine it into a single guest experience. And so there was all this sort of friction that was part of the customer journey, and then we felt that we could really alleviate. And that was the problem that we wanted to solve. And so, yeah, we've obviously grown quite a bit since then, and have many amazing clients like Montage. And so, we're thrilled to serve the industry, and we're just excited for the future, because we think that people will travel again, and our industry will be stronger than ever. I think, especially wellness. We've all been much more in tune with our own personal wellness, and I believe that it's a little hiccup here along the way, but the long term of spas and wellness operations is very strong.
I think you're really right there too, Frank, because if you think about it, even though we've had this hiccup, those of us who are still open and fortunate to be open are still seeing pretty robust business levels, which is good. That we build a need for what we offer into most countries where we are. That people really feel the need to still have that wellness, that spa, even that fitness experience. So I think that's really, really important. Can you talk about, during this time of this sort of pause that we're on, can you talk about what ResortSuite has been doing to sort of help their spa partners during this extraordinary time? I know you some training, some new resources, all of those different great things that you guys are doing at ResortSuite.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you just said, I mean, our industry, especially, spas, hotels, resorts, clubs, have been, we all know, just been disproportionately affected by all of this. And so what we felt was important, both for our clients as well as for our own team, was, first of all, we said right from when we closed our office in mid-March, we told our entire team, for the balance of 2020, we don't know how long this is going to go, but at least for the balance of 2020, no one will lose their job because of COVID. We will dip into our reserves. We will make sure, because we wanted to, there was a lot of stress and anxiety at the time, and people were doing a lot of important work. We wanted them to focus on that important work and not worry about, their job or what was going to happen. And so we did that right from the get-go, and it went a long way with our team. And what it also allowed us to do is assist our clients at a time when they were, they had a lot of their staff furloughed, because for them, their revenue in some cases was zero. They were literally closed. And so they had to furlough team members and things like that. And so we worked with brands to help them with their online booking experiences and improving their sort of digital presence. We just said, listen, we can contract for the work now, but we won't look for payment until you are reopened and generating revenue again. So let's do the work now when your team is available, and we can possibly have the time to focus on this. And then down the road, again, you can pay for it when obviously you're bringing in the revenues. We also help them with things like just doing the night audits and the end of day procedures and things like that for the clients, where in some cases the staff just wasn't available. They were furloughed. And so we had to do some of those things. And we did do a whole webinar training series that was the most attended it's ever been with any training we've ever done. And so we have all of that. And that's all on our, also on our customer care portal for our clients, so that they can now utilize all of that. So yeah, we just really focused on ensuring we provided the tools to our clients and things that they would need to get them through. And also, just having our employees back in terms of, making sure that they feel that as a company, we're going to get through this stronger and be better on the other side.
Well, I have to say, Frank, dealing with your team, who I'm glad you kept, thank you, because we could not have survived without Sarah and Duncan and the work they've been doing with us. Just the level, you can tell a company is a good company to work for by the people that represent it, that are in the field, and the level of professionalism and heart and just I've never gone to them with a question or a request that they haven't come back and said, we're going to figure out how to do it. Even if they have to write the roadmap to do it. So I think that speaks volumes about the culture that you created at ResortSuite. I think that's why people are very loyal to ResortSuite, because the culture that you've helped build with your team is so incredibly fantastic. Can you talk, I know we all talk about technology right now. It's sort of been the buzzword of the last year and will continue to be so. Can you talk about how ResortSuite's products are enhancing that guest experience on the technology side for our guests and for your clients?
Sure. And thank you for those kind comments. I'm sure my team will be, really pleased to hear that from you, Patrick. So thank you for that. I think with what we're seeing now as guests are returning, and we have seen that initial surge of guests, obviously when spas return, there's that pent up demand. But I think we also have to think about the other, let's say the other 50% of guests that are a little more cautious. They're a little more, have a little more anxiety about returning to a hotel, to a spa, and that sort of thing. We have to continue to make them feel safe. And what we've been working on is, obviously with our technology, because we touch so many parts of the business, we can create, and what we've been working on is enhancing our mobile experience so that it can be completely contactless. So obviously, customers are coming for a spa treatment, and we know the spas have done such an amazing job pre-COVID. We've been renowned with our cleanliness and our procedures and everything else, and just took that to the next level during this time. And so customers can feel safe in that environment. But as well, for areas, parts of the transaction that maybe, or the experience that maybe they'd rather not touch a menu, or, when they're checking in, having to touch a kiosk or even hold a key. So we've added to our mobile app, the ability to do things like hotel mobile check-in, get a digital key, go right to your room, access facilities, booking obviously your spa treatments and your fitness classes and golf tee times, lessons, managing your itinerary, really anything that you may do, including mobile payments. We have a feature in our app that you can shake your phone and it brings up a barcode. We call it Shake to Pay, but essentially they can identify themselves, they can charge to their room, charge to their member account, and it just makes it really easy for a guest. They don't have to touch a payment device. They can do all of that with their mobile device. And we're adding now in 2021, mobile messaging right in the app, the ability to order things like room service. So all of the parts of the experience, checking into your spa, filling in a questionnaire, signing it right on your device, just doing all of that in a self-contained device that they can keep clean and safe, as opposed to having to touch things that maybe is a bit unnecessary. So that's kind of been our focus, is how can we help clients like you really provide the type of experience that some guests are looking for. Some still want, that hands-on, come to the desk, serving them one-to-one, and others are going to want, in areas where I can see the F&B menu or the spa menu, just being able to access that on my device and then select it, book it, and have it confirmed right then and there.
It's so funny. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I don't think I've printed a menu in about a year. Everything has gone to a QR code or a way for that guest to virtually interact with your menu, as opposed to a hard paper copy, which is kind of great to reduce the amount of trees that we take down to print menus. I also think you bring up something pretty interesting, Frank, in that, lots of times we ask, what's going to remain from this time that we're in? And I think this contactless way of interfacing with payment, the sort of like nuts and bolts things that one has to do when one goes to a hotel or a spa, I think that's here to stay. I don't think that's ever going away. I mean, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, in other parts of people's lives now, they're ordering food. I order my Starbucks before I get there, and it's just there waiting for me. Or, now with the Uber generation, I mean, this is what people are used to. This demographic that crave experiences also crave the ability to control their experience themselves. And so that's a whole new demographic that we never really had to deal with before in hospitality, and it's emerging quickly. And I think, the future of hospitality was always mobile. I think what to your point, I think what COVID has done is just accelerated that future. And now it's sort of a, something we need to be thinking about is how can we create that seamless, frictionless experience for our guests.
Right, right. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So people who don't know you may not know that you, and I said in the intro that you're the chairman of the ISPA Foundation, which is our philanthropic arm. A very important part of the ISPA experience is the foundation. Pays for all of the research that we do that we also valued so much over the past year. I don't know if people always realize make that connection, but I want to make that connection for them, that the reports and the numbers and the great scholarships we give come through the foundation that you're the chairman of. So I think the more we support that, the more we end up supporting our own industry. But I would love to know what initiatives that you guys have over at ResortSuite that are really near and dear to your heart from a philanthropic standpoint.
Yeah, no, I think, we do a lot of, as a company, we do a lot of community and charitable work. But I think to your point, based on this conversation in the context, I just simply, I cannot fail to mention the fact that, as the ISPA Foundation chairman, it is one of the most important things that we do, that we give. And I want to, lead by example. I don't want to be asking for donations to the foundation so we can deliver all this amazing content and research and resources for our industry without stepping up ourselves. So that's something that we find very important. We put it into our budget to donate financially to the foundation. We donate auction items, and of course, purchasing the amazing auction items as well that are for the taking. So we love that, and it's all for a good cause because it's for our industry. The ability for us to continue. You were a big part this year, Patrick, in terms of leading the effort around all of the resources that we provided to the industry during the most difficult time, about reopening, about sanitization procedures, and all of that. It was just so important that people. I got so many messages of gratitude around the work that ISPA was doing then, and all of the town halls that you led. It was just great. Getting those experiences out there was so valuable to our industry. So that's that's what the foundation does. I think it's an important part of what I do every day in terms of not just leading ResortSuite, but also as my role as ISPA Foundation chairman. I think it's one of the most rewarding things to be part of something that gives so much back to our industry.
And thank you for those really kind words, Frank. I appreciate that. It's been a real honor in ways that I can't even express, to be quite honest with you. And I don't want to cry in your interview. Can you, and I have to say, I love the auction this year being online. I think it was really, really smart. Like the great thing that's come out of this, it's made us step into the now. It's like, why not have an auction online? I mean, it was great. It was very, very smart.
We were just talking about it with mobile, right? It's another good example. Is just making it easy for people to participate and have fun with it, right? And it was great fun. All the messages we saw back and forth with people, and winning an auction or losing out on it. It was just a lot of fun. So and it generated some really, really valuable, needed money for the foundation. So and still not enough, right? We've got, as you know, we have so many things we need to do, and additional research that's needed by our industry. So it's something we continue to do. But yeah, the mobile and online part of the auction was pretty great. We're definitely going to continue it. That's for sure.
We have to. I think I've been hiding out from Lynn McNeese because we were in a bidding war for an item, and I thought I had lost it, but I won it. So I've been hiding out from her for the past couple of months. It was a great auction. It was a great online auction. Can you talk about, from your perspective, there's so many things happening around technology right now in the world and in our field, hospitality and wellness. How can a person go about evaluating what technology makes sense for their business? How do they tackle that big nut to crack?
It's a great question, Patrick. And I think the thing I would say is start with the experience first. Start with what is the experience you're trying to create, and then make sure the technology partners you bring into that will allow you to create that guest journey that you're looking to create. Because a lot of times, different departments or even different individuals will buy technology for their specific need, but not considering how that fits into the overall flow of that guest journey.
Mhm.
And so I think start with the guest experience first, and then find the partners that are going to fit into that most effectively, and create that sort of seamless and frictionless guest experience that you're looking to do. So, I would say, and thinking about your business and the future of your business. I know a lot of properties now are considering sort of wellness programming or a membership business model to add to their business. Well, you need to make sure that the partners you're selecting can adapt and help you incorporate some of those new business models or services that you might be adding to your operations.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I think lots of times we, as an operator, maybe oftentimes we don't think about, well, how does it really play out to the guest experience? We just jump to the technology and then we're like, oh, it doesn't fit exactly what we need, versus really thinking about what is it that we're trying to accomplish or make easier for the guest by incorporating the technology, which I think is a great way to start. So you have a very successful company. So tell me one of your most recent, if you can, unless no NDAs have been signed, unless they have. What's your most successful experience you've had this past year with one of your spa partners, or one of them?
So I won't put you on the spot, Patrick, in terms of the work we've done with Montage. So one I would probably highlight is maybe Sea Island. And one of the challenges that Sea Island has is they serve so many different segments within their operations. So they have guests, resort guests that are on packages. They have just resort guests that are there. They have members, and members that might be a golf member or social member, or different member levels. And so their ability to, from an online perspective, the ability to ensure that the right availability, the right services are available to guests that have the privilege to book those things. We did a lot of work with creating those kind of restrictions around, and what availability, what offerings are presented to different members, so that they sense they're paying a lot for their membership, making sure that they have the experience and are able to access the things that are available to them and the privileges that they have through that, as well as to the general public and to other segments that they serve. They need to be able to manage the inventory so that guests that want to book a spa treatment, you have to be either a guest or a member to do that. If you want to book at this dining reservation, there's a certain amount maybe of availability they make for the general public. All of those kinds of things. Just that having all of those different segments to manage is one thing when you're doing it in central reservations, when someone is there and has that knowledge and is employing those restrictions. It's a very different thing when guests are booking online. So being able to manage based on who they are and what you make available to them. So we went live with that this year, and we're very proud of that work and work very collaboratively with the Sea Island team, and continue to evolve that that online booking experience for them.
That's great. That's great. That's a beautiful property. That whole experience down there at Sea Island is spectacular. So tell me, what is ResortSuite most looking forward to in 2021?
I think like all of us is really getting back to some semblance of normal, right, Patrick? It's just can't wait to be able to freely hug my family, my friends, my colleagues. This has been tough on all of us, and I think as a company, I think it's just helping our clients come out stronger on the other side. So again, some of that work that we've been doing, the work we've been adding to our product, and doubling down, really investing very heavily at a time when others were sort of cutting back. So I think it's sort of, doing that important work in making sure that our clients will have the tools that they want, and dealing and have the tools to deal with expectations of guests that may have changed when they return again. So, it's, we're sort of looking forward to that. Is just, again, everything just really getting back to normal, and a real bounce back year in 2021. We just want everything from business to our relationships, and and everything just coming back and feeling safe again, of course.
So one final question before we leave. And we'd like to end with these questions. In your mind, what has been the silver lining through all of this?
I think I've just been inspired by seeing how our industry, how everyone has adapted and supported each other. I mean, the critical word is supporting each other, working together, and just understanding that we're all in together, and just, the work that ISPA did, just really inspiring to me, that it just makes me confident that, our industry will be back and will be stronger than ever. And yeah, I'd say that'd be my silver lining, is just that faith I have in humanity, and of course in the great people we have in our industry.
Thank you for that, Frank. Frank, thank you so much for joining us today and spreading a little positivity during what has been a challenging time. And of course, thanks again to ResortSuite for their continued support of Pulse, which is returning to print this month with the January-February issue, and which is also available through the Pulse app for iOS and Android, and at experienceispa.com. To everyone watching, thank you for spending a little time with us today. Stay well and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, everyone.